Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Long time no see, friends and neighbors. So yeah, I haven't gone live on this channel in quite a long time. But once a Hare Krishna, always a Hare Krishna. So if you're new here, my name is Dan, right? And I was a Hare Krishna monk for like 10 years. Like I traveled the world. I did all kinds of Hare Krishna things. If you don't know what Hare Krishna is, you can look it up. It's based from India. It became very popular in the 60s, okay? And then it kind of fizzled out a bit, but it's still going. It's still going strong. Yeah, and I became a monk when I was young. So today I'm just going to read from spiritual literature, for my purification and for the benefit of other people. See, nowadays I'm not a monk anymore. I'm just a normal guy. Okay, I work. I have a business. That's why I'm known as a 7-figure monk. But if I wanted to, I could be a monk again right now because I was a monk for 10 years. So I have the monk habits. Like I know how to do all the monk stuff. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari This is fun, man. This is fun. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I feel like it'd be a waste of my God-given talents if I didn't, speak and share spiritual wisdom. Because, like, why give like yourself 10 years to something and just not continue to do it, even just a little bit, right? So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get back into it, guys. Srimad Bhagavatam. If you don't know what this is an ancient text. Okay. So let's get into it. Let me turn the lights on. It kind of looks cool, but it's kind of hard to read. There's a little glare. Let me fix the lighting a little bit, Let me fix the lighting. Get the lighting fixed. Let's try this. See if that helps. Whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is, my friends. Okay. I don't know why this glare is coming from. Maybe just let me just do like this. This is raw, guys. Anyways, that's a light. There's a light coming in. So let me get into this. So I'm reading from Canto 1, Chapter 5, right? Srila Vyasadev's compilation of different Vedic literatures on the basis of regulated performances of fruitive activities as depicted in the Mahabharata and other literatures is condemned herein by Srila Narada. The human beings, by long material association, life after life, have a natural inclination by practice to endeavor to lord it over material energy. They have no sense of responsibility of human life. This human form of life is a chance to get out of the work, to get out of the clutches of the illusory matter. The Vedas are meant for going back to Godhead, going back home, to revolve in the cycle of transmigration and a series of lives, numbering 8,400,000 is an imprisoned life for the condemned conditioned souls. So that's important right here. I'm just gonna read and talk, okay? So people don't realize this. Like some people, they don't believe it because they don't want to believe it. Like they don't want to believe in like transmigration of the soul. They don't want to believe that life continues after this. Like because for a lot of people, life sucks. Life is struggle. Life is, like suffering. There's a lot of suffering that goes on in life. Like there's happiness and distress, but the material world is a place of miseries, as Lord Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad-Gita. So like people have so much traumas, they don't really want to like think about having to come back again, right? They don't want to think about having to be reincarnated. So, but there's 8,400,000 species of life. Okay. And to evolve in the cycle of transmigration and series of lives is an imprisoned life for the condemned conditioned souls. Okay. So being in this world, you're in the prison house, whether you like it or not. But you'll be like, oh yeah, but I'm doing really good. I got a lot of money. I got a lot of this. Yeah. Well, you just have gold bars, but you're still in the prison house. You still got to deal with birth, death, old age, and disease. Okay. The human form of life is a chance to get out of this imprisoned life. And as such, the only occupation of the human being to establish, and as such, the only occupation of the human being is to reestablish his lost relationship with God. That's our only purpose. Okay. We get so distracted, myself included, right? We get so distracted by other things, but our only purpose is to reestablish our lost relationship with God. Okay. Whatever you want to call it, like whatever name you call God, because people have different names of God. Okay. I don't care what anybody says. There's multiple paths to God, right? Like, like people speak different dogmas. Like they say, oh, this way is the only way, but there's multiple paths to God. Okay. Under the circumstances, one should never be encouraged in making plans for sense enjoyment in the name of religious functions. Such diversion of the human energy results in misguided civilization. You don't need to do all these ridiculous religious functions, okay? It's not necessary. All this swaha and everything, okay? It's just not necessary. In this age, all we need to do is chant Hare Krishna and study the scriptures and apply the scriptures to our lives. Srila Vyasadeva is the authority in the Vedic explanations of the Mahabharata, etc. But its encouragement and sense enjoyment in some form or other is a great barrier for spiritual advancement because the people in general will not agree to renounce material activities which hold them in material bondage. As at a certain stage of human civilization, when such material activities in the name of religion, as sacrificing animals in the name of yajna, were too much rampant, the Lord incarnated himself as Buddha and described the authority of the Vedas in order to stop animal sacrifice in the name of religion. So there used to be some animal sacrifices going on. So the Lord, God, the Almighty, he incarnated himself as Buddha to put an end to that nonsense. And decried the authority of the Vedas in order to stop animal sacrifice. Okay. This was foreseen by Narada, and therefore he condemned such literatures. The flesh eaters still continue to perform animal sacrifice before some demigod or goddess in the name of religion, because in some Vedic literatures, such regulated sacrifices are recommended. They are so condemned. They are so recommended to discourage flesh eating, but gradually the purpose of such religious activities is forgotten, and the slaughterhouse becomes prominent. Yeah, as you can see, we have slaughterhouses. Animals are being slaughtered every day. They're being like brutally murdered. It's heinous. It's sick. It's gross. And people are just, like it's weird because like people say like I love animals, but then they eat animals. Like there's a big disconnect. Okay, it's a big disconnect there. What is it? Cognitive dissonance or something like that. I gotta look that up. I gotta understand that. But basically, it's like it's a sin. Like you don't have to eat animals. I've been vegetarian for like 25 years now. Okay. I don't care what anybody says on the planet. Now you might like to eat animals because you've been conditioned to that, but you don't have to survive. Okay. I don't eat animals, and I'm probably, healthier than most people, even though I could be more healthy. I just got to exercise a little bit more. But you don't have to eat animals. Okay. It's not necessary to eat animals. You can live without eating animals. You just want to eat animals. Just be honest. Okay. It's not necessary. And every time you eat animals, you're part of the bad karma. Okay. What goes around comes around. If you cause pain to other people, whether it's animals, like would you go around and start like hurting animals? Like if you can't go around and start hurting animals. Like you can't, like if you hurt a dog in a lot of countries like America, I'm pretty sure it's illegal to hurt dogs. But like it's okay for us to slaughter cows and other animals. What's going on? There's a big disconnect there. Okay. So this is because foolish materialistic men do not care to listen to others who are actually in a position to explain the Vedic rites. In the Vedas, it is distinctly said that the perfection of life is never to be attained either by voluminous work or by accumulation of wealth or even by increasing the population. but is attained only by renunciation. The materialistic men do not care to listen to such injunctions. Yeah, people just want to enjoy. They don't want to. They don't want to like stop their sense gratification because they're addicted to it. Hey, I'm addicted to it too. You know, I'm in the material world as well. Okay, I have my own bad habits. I'm also like I'm recovering. Like I'm like dealing with addiction to sense gratification myself. So I'm not going to like say that I'm better than anybody. Okay. But you got to be aware of the problem before you can solve the problem. See, most people are not aware of the problem, so how are you going to solve it? According to them, the so-called renounced order of life is meant for those who are unable to earn a livelihood because of some corporal defects, or for persons who have failed to achieve prosperity in family life. So they're saying that people become monks and people become renunciates because they don't know how, they don't know how to make money. Okay, so they don't know how to make money, so they're like, okay, I don't know how to make money. I don't know how to be successful materially, so they become renunciates. But really, the whole purpose of becoming a monk or renunciate is to realize that this material world is a prison house, and you want to be like, you just want to, you want to commit to spiritual activities because you've seen the light and you understand the truth is that there's a God and there's a spiritual kingdom, and the place you want to be is the spiritual kingdom. So you dedicate your time, your energy, everything to pursuing, renunciation or spiritual enlightenment or Krishna consciousness, whatever you want to say. Okay. In histories like Mahabharata, of course, there are topics on transcendental subjects along with material topics. The Bhagavad-Gita is there in the Mahabharata. The whole idea of the Mahabharata culminates in the ultimate instructions of the Bhagavad-Gita, that one should relinquish all other engagements and should engage oneself solely and fully in surrendering unto the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. But men with materialistic tendencies are more attracted to politics, economics, and philanthropic activities mentioned in the Mahabharata than to the principal topic, namely the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so people with materialistic tendencies, they're attracted to like politics, economics, and philanthropic activities, right? And inside of the Mahabharata, but they're not really attracted to the message of the Bhagavad Gita, which is surrendering to Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna, the Lord. Okay. The compromising spirit of Vyasadeva is directly condemned by Narada, who advises him to directly proclaim that the prime necessity of human life is to realize one's eternal relation with the Lord and thus surrender unto him without delay. Okay, that's the purpose. You got to surrender to Krishna. Just surrender to Krishna. That's the purpose of life. The purpose of life is not, anything besides that. It's the ultimate thing. It's the ultimate purpose is to surrender to Krishna. So how do you do that? By chanting Hare Krishna, by following spiritual principles. Okay, that's how you surrender to Krishna, right? A patient suffering from a particular type of malady is almost always inclined to accept eatables which are forbidden for him. The expert physician does not make any compromise with the patient by allowing him to take partially what he should not at all take. Okay, that's why we have the scriptures, because there's certain things that are good for us and certain things that are bad for us, because you're either serving yourself, like your activities, they're either serving you or they're sabotaging you, right? So your activities are serving you if they're doing things that are helping you make progress, okay? Like spiritual progress, then your activities are serving you, right? So how like I have a job, I work, like I'm not a monk anymore. I was a monk for 10 years basically. Well, I was living like a renunciate, more or less for like 10 years, okay? But then I was like, all right, enough of that, because I wanted to do other things. I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to be a monk anymore. I was kind of sick of it. I was kind of sick of all the politics. Even in monk life, there's a lot of politics. And I was kind of sick of it, and I just wanted to do something else. Okay, so now I have a job, but I still practice Krishna consciousness, even though I have a job and I have a business, but I still practice Krishna consciousness. See what I've realized after being a monk to not being a monk? Like it's not about like being a monk or not being a monk. It's about like your activities. Like what are you doing? What's your consciousness? Is Krishna the focus of your life, or is Krishna not the focus of your life? Like is Krishna like the center of your life, or is Krishna not the center of your life? Right? And nobody's perfect, but you gotta do your best to make Krishna the center of your life. Okay, that's why you cook for Krishna. That's why you chant for Krishna. That's why you offer your activities to Krishna. You do everything for Krishna. Okay. So in the Bhagavad Gita, it is also said that a man attached to fruitive work should not be discouraged from his occupation, for gradually he may be elevated to the position of self-realization. This is sometimes applicable for those who are only dry empiric philosophers without spiritual realization. But those who are in the devotional line need not be always so advised. Vichak shano shiar hati vaditum vibur. Ananta prasya nivirtita shukam. Pavartamanasya guner anat manas. Tato bhavandavarshaya chitashtitam vivo. The Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality retired from the activities of material happiness deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. Therefore, those who are not so well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness through the descriptions of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. See, guys, Krishna carries what you lack and he preserves what you have. I haven't done a Bhagavad. I haven't done a class. I haven't given a presentation or given a class, a discourse. I haven't done a spiritual talk for months. But today I was like, hey man, let's just talk about Krishna today. And I picked up right where I left off. It's like I've never stopped talking about spiritual life. See, I can do this all day, guys. I can talk about spiritual life all day, just like I can talk about business all day, because that's just what things that I'm naturally inclined to do. So that's the power. See, guys, that's why you gotta be respectful for other people, because some people are they're in the material world, and they might not be wearing their dhotis, they might not be wearing tilak and all that stuff every day. That doesn't mean they're not a devotee. To some degree, I'm not going to say I'm a pure devotee at all, but do I have an inclination to serve Krishna and chant Hare Krishna? Heck yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Adi Bodhara Shiradhe Sham. Gauranga, Nityananda. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Sham. I'm back, guys. I'm back. I never left, but I'm back too. So yeah.